This handsome boy is Dusty Ray, and he has a tendency to sometimes get a little bit too toothy when dogs come up to him with a front-facing approach. And so I've come up with a game, I call it the front sit approach game, really clever name by me, where basically we're gonna have a dog approaching, we're gonna be holding a treat in front of him to keep him looking at that dog, which you can also use peanut butter for that part, and then we're gonna deliver the treat right as the dog's about to turn around and gawk away. The other dog is Fiona. It's one of our daycare rep, Emily's personal dog. We've been practicing, and I just wanted to put a little video together. So if you have a dog that doesn't like other dogs, doesn't like other dogs approaching them, this is a good method. All right, so Emily, go ahead and come on down. We're gonna do 3 of these in a row. And you're gonna see Emily's dog right over here. There you go, and yep. All right, U-turn, and we're gonna do 1 step further, closer. And we're doing this, this dog needs to be not reactive. And her dog is Fiona, who's doing a fantastic job. So as soon as that dog turns to go away, then we say yes and release the treat here. All right, let's do that one more time. Emily, let's do 3 steps past the bar. There we go. Now, the guardian here is asking for a sit. Sit is a good thing because it tells us that the dog is comfortable enough to sit, but don't force the sit. If your dog won't sit, that's a good way of saying that it's too much for me. All right, Emily, do one more. We'll do 5 steps past. I know the light is not ideal. And then turn. Oh. There we go. So Dusty was a little bit, and this is right here, we're doing this in Dusty's yard. And so this is not the ideal place to do it, but we just don't have a good spot around. So if you're doing this, just obviously it's a good opportunity. Nothing bad happened. Emily's checking to make sure everything's okay. But that's an emotional response. He's not an aggressive dog. He's just like, you know, I got a little too close. I call that getting greedy. So I wanted her to go 3 steps past. There's a line right there. And I got greedy, and I was reading it based on what he did before, but it's important to understand that dog training is not a bell curve. It's more going to be like an EKG going up and down. So ideally you want to go up and down a little bit where your direction is, you're kind of going upward. Emily, how is she doing? Is she okay? All right, so we're gonna do that again. We're just gonna go 1 foot past that line. One past this line right here and then turn around. All right, hold some treats up. There we go. Now, because we had a bad or not a great setup, we want to recreate it easier and go ahead, turn right there. And then release the treat. There we go. And so anytime you have a mistake, and that was, you know, not a big deal. I mean, that, you know, we don't want to have that happen, but mistakes do happen. When it happens, you want to recreate it as soon as possible in an easier version. So Dusty's last memory is not of something negative. All right, we're gonna do that one more time, Emily. Let's just do 1 foot past the post, and we'll wrap this video up. So we're gonna have Dusty looking at that dog as it approaches, and then release the treat right there. Perfect. All right, Dusty, I'm gonna talk a little bit, but we wanna show everybody how handsome you are. All right, let me flip this around if I can. Set Dusty up here for success by getting him a little exercise first. Now, we're doing this in Dusty's yard, which is not the ideal place to do it because sometimes there's a little territorialness. So an ideal place to do this would be a big open park or field where there's a lot of open space. But if you turn around and pan to your pool, that pool is a nice visual block. So Emily was able to go ahead and come back to me, but Emily is able to come around to the side so that he can see. And we're delivering treats as the dog's approaching, and then if he gets stiff, he stops taking the treat, whines, shows an indication he's uncomfortable, then we need to have that person stop and immediately go away. Having the pool there allows that person to step outside of his visual acuity, and that can help him feel a little bit more comfortable. Now, when you're doing this right, it should look like he's completely relaxed. Eventually, we'd like the dog to get closer and closer and closer and get all the way right up to him. This is the very first time we've done this with him, so he's not great at it. His mechanics, same thing with his guardian, they'll get better as they do this. I would like to see the peanut butter, though, because that releases oxytocin. Come here, buddy. Hey, Dusty. Oxytocin is the feel-good hormone, and that pairs a nice, pleasant experience with this. But when you're doing this, even if you're doing it right, he should look relaxed that doesn't mean there's not a lot of anxiety or emotional capital being spent. So if that's the case, what we did was did a couple minutes, and we had the other dog go away. He got to run around and sniff, and we took a little 3 to 5 minute break, and then we have the other dog come back and do it over and over again. Now we did some stuff before this, but this is a longer video I want to make, so we're going to go ahead and call it here. But the idea is we have to go at his pace. And so if one day we can get a 5 feet away, and the next day we can't get to 15 feet away, that's okay. Gradually we'll start collapsing that distance, but it's more important that we do it in short, successful sessions. Well, this is my buddy Dusty, and these are some tricks you can use if you have a dog that doesn't like other dogs approaching it from the front.